And I thought, I mean, I gave you guys 1,000 before and you brought it back, so surely you will get this. Little did I know that that was the beginning of misery and downfall, because what happened to me after the whole scam is something I never thought I would experience, not through the phone. Not through the phone, not
How
through
so?
technology.
Welcome to this edition of Mindset Profit. It is freezing in Joburg, so hey, I hope we're gonna be strong for this one.
We are, because I know they're watching from their blankets or from a throw on the couch. So we are.
This is going to be an interesting one. So a friend of mine, Slu, called and said there's a topic that we need to cover, and I just went through something that I really need to talk about and warn people about, and it is scamming. So at any point in this conversation, if you have ever been scammed before, if you know of another scam that's going on out there that we might not cover, please pop it in the comments and let us know what's going on, what you've come across. But as a lot of you entrepreneurs, side hustlers are building your lives, someone has a plan for your money out there. We just want to do this episode to say, as you have that mindset to build your life and your business, don't forget that someone has a plan for your money. But I'm not doing it alone. We are from Hope Alive Radio today with Slu.
After my show.
Just after her show. Catching her straight after her show. How was your show, by the way?
It was good. It was good. The Friday show is very light-hearted. We're ushering people into the weekend. So we're just talking about the best way to have a winter weekend indoors. And
Best way to have a winter week. It must have been nice.
It was. I think another thing that we need to add on the list is the best way to have a winter weekend indoors is to binge watch Mindset Profits podcast.
Now you get the t-shirt. Now you get the t-shirt. Welcome. All right, so talk to us. What happened?
Whew.
How did this idea come up? Because this was your topic.
Yeah. So it came from an experience that I had. First of all, I didn't even know I was being scammed. Can we just start there? Can we just, a scam is a scam when you don't know you're being scammed. I didn't know I was being scammed. It took me, I think, a proper week or two for it to actually sink in that no, the money is not coming back. These people are not going to do what they said they're going to do. Yeah. So what happened was at the end of February, I got a text, and this was before these, rate and review texts became so popular. I had never heard of anyone complain about them.
Oh, they're a thing now.
They're a thing. Oh, they are very big now.
Okay.
They are so much of a thing that when my friends get that text, they screenshot and they send it to me and they say, your people are texting. And that's very triggering, guys. It's not funny. It really isn't. But
please send this episode to your friends so they watch just this part. They're triggering you.
Very triggering. But they are a thing now. And I think it's also because of some type of awareness that has been out there. But it's still not enough. Because, like I said, I didn't know I was being scammed. And there's probably somebody out there that's watching that is being scammed and doesn't know it.
Okay.
So I got a text. Hi, I am this person. I think used the name Balisa. They used that name and they said they are a marketing director. First of all, a marketing director is not going to text you on WhatsApp and say, I am headhunting you. Not like that. That was just the first red flag. But they said they are a marketing director of a reputable digital marketing company in Rosebank.
Okay.
The first thing that I did was to look up the company. It checked out. The company was in Burnham in Rosebank.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't do was to call the company and actually find out, are you guys hiring? Because this is the marketing director, so why would they lie?
Know.
They would know. After that checked out, they said to me, I'd like verbatim, would like to offer you a part-time online job. rating and reviewing our clients to grow their digital footprint.
That's some nice, smooth language.
Part-time. They had me at part-time. When they said part-time, I figured, okay, this
Side hustle.
side hustle, it's not going to take up much of my time. And this person went on to ask, can I explain further? And I said, hi, absolutely. And they explained, they said, so we'll send you links and then you will rate the place and you'll write a review.
So they'll give you PNPs to raise.
Basically. And most of the places were in Cape Town. I don't know why. But most of the places were in Cape Town. So I tried to ask follow-up questions like, where are your clients based? How often should I do this? What time can I start? And the one thing you don't want to do is to ask scammers questions, because they will always find a way to manipulate you and
Even further.
to keep you on. Nonetheless, we continued with that conversation. They explained to me, they said I can start at whatever time. They charged each review at about 15 Rand or 30 Rand, I don't remember. To top it off, they said they would give me 60 extra bucks.
Okay.
That buys you a meal at a certain fast food outlet, okay? An entire meal. But they said they would top it up with 60 Rand. They said they'll top it up with 60
And they
bucks.
found you hungry or something.
Hey, it was a tough time. I'm a student, so, you know. They said they'll top it up with 60 Rand just to welcome me into the organization. And I figured, okay, great, no problem. Then they asked if I had Telegram. I said, no, I never made much of it. And they said, please download Telegram and then let us know once you have done so, because it is our platform of communication. I did not think much of it, purely because there's people that prefer Microsoft Teams over Zoom. So I figured, okay.
WhatsApp, Telegram.
Exactly. Downloaded Telegram, and then I let them know that, okay, I have downloaded Telegram. They sent me a link and said, this is the receptionist. That's what they were called. This is the receptionist that you're going to be speaking to. This is the person that is going to be handling all of your payments and any work-related issues you might have. And I said, okay. Before they asked me about Telegram, they hadn't asked me about my CV. They hadn't asked me for banking details, nothing personal.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, oh, if there's anyone that's smart here, it's me, because they're not asking me for any personal information. But that was just a trick on their part to make me less suspicious, because they already had my number. So that in and of itself is questionable. Nonetheless, they asked for my name, which city I'm from, and my age. Simple. I answered those questions, and even with the city, I wasn't specific in terms of area. I just said Johannesburg. Clicked on the link, went to Telegram. What I didn't see was, once I moved to Telegram, communication on WhatsApp completely stopped.
Oh.
So there was nothing coming from WhatsApp afterwards. Went on to Telegram. It seemed as though this person on Telegram was waiting for me. Because as soon as I said hi, they said, hi, how are you? Welcome to the team. I'm saying this, and I'm thinking, okay, this is efficient. These people have got their
These are professional guys.
They've got their systems in place, you know? And when I would ask questions, I would get answers. But at the time, I'm not thinking these are automated answers. I just thought, hey, this is a great team. Everyone is happy to be doing what they're doing. Fantastic. I did, I think, 2 or 3 of those tasks on that very same day.
Well, they were giving you things to do.
They were giving me things to do. So how it would work is, you'd get a link, and then when you click on that link, it takes you to that place, and you rate the place, and then you write a comment. I did that 3 times, and every time you did that, you had to send a screenshot. I guess that was their way of trying to show that the whole process is legit.
And you're actually working.
Exactly. But I soon realized that, no, actually, nobody is reading these rates. Nobody is reading these reviews, because there was a time when I made an error and I submitted that screenshot, and that person didn't say, you should go back and actually correct this. They just left it as it was.
Yeah.
But I sent that screenshot, got paid that day. I think it was about 120. This was plus that $60 they said I would get, right? So how they got my banking details was they asked me which bank I was using. I told them and they asked for my account number only. They didn't ask for the confirmation letter from the bank, nothing.
Okay.
So got that 120. It was a Saturday. And I thought, oh, okay, great. Ah, nice. Now I'm going to grab
So
myself
that's
some
180
snacks.
with the $60.
No, it's 120
Oh,
because
you
it's
combine.
3 tasks rated. Yeah, 15:30. The math is not mathing right now, but
You
it was
had good
below.
lunch.
Yeah, it was below 200, 120 or 180, somewhere there about.
Okay.
After that, I decided not to tell anyone because I thought I had found a working side hustle. You know, there was nothing to worry about. There was no questions to raise. Obviously, if I had questions, I could ask the people that I was speaking to and they would answer me, which is what they had already done.
And they promised to pay, and they paid.
Exactly. And this is how they got me again, when they said to me, you can start working at any time. So there's no set time of, you are
Yeah.
clocking in at 6 or whatever the case was. So I thought, okay, great. So I can start working at like 12 midday, and finish at about 2, and then I can carry on with my business. I continued the next day, went on to Telegram. They had said I am part of a group. And this group, we would get access to those links. And there were so many other people that were part of that group. And the interesting thing was that these people had South African names. And so when I'm looking at the group, I'm seeing Tando.
This is family.
Exactly. I'm seeing Tando, Tabelo, Tabo, Tabiso. I'm like, okay, this is normal, and they were sending screenshots of the same places that I was also reviewing. They were sending screenshots of the money that they had received. Now get this, I wasn't fascinated by the fact that people were making 15,000 Rand, 20,000 Rand. I was just happy to have a side hustle that is right up my alley because I'm a freelance writer. So to rate and review was something I had never done before.
And easy.
So did that. The second day, now the rules started to change. They said, no, we are not going to pay you after every task. We'll pay you after you've completed 5 tasks. I thought, okay, it makes sense because imagine if they had to pay me 30 Rand after every, maybe it's a bit of a problem on their side, I said, okay, fine. That's okay. Completed 5 tasks, got 150 because one task was about 30 Rand. Got that 150. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe if I can push a couple more tasks, I can get like 300 or 500, that will help me throughout the week.
Yeah.
Got to task number, so for that day, I did until task number 5. Then I left it for the day because remember, it's part-time. And no one was pestering me. Nobody would ask me, why aren't you joining? Why aren't you? And that's what made me stay on.
Oh, so when you stop posting, they don't bother you.
No, they don't bother you.
And when you start, they continue as if
Exactly. So
everything has been fine.
exactly. So once you start, you can't stop. So if you are doing, you don't stop. If you're doing 5 tasks, you do 1 task, submit screenshot. Another task, submit screenshot. Another task, submit screenshot. If you stop halfway, you're not going to get paid for the work that you've done.
So you have to finish all 5.
You have to finish all 5, then you get paid. But even if you stop halfway, no one is going to ask you, why did you stop? They'll just write, that receptionist would just send you a message to say, this is how much you've made so far. And then it's entirely up to you to come back and continue.
Continue and finish. Okay.
I think the 3rd day now, continued working, and I thought, man, let me just push it further to 10 tasks. Let's see how far this can go. I get to task number 5, then I get that 150, then I continue number 5, number 6. Now number 8 gets tricky because number 8 is now talking about making deposits. And I went back to the receptionist and I said, hey, this task, it's not about rating and reviewing. I think you guys sent me the wrong link. This is not the right link. And she said, no, it is the right link. And I said, no, it's talking about depositing. How am I why are you asking me to deposit money when I'm actually working to make money? She said, no, it's just part of a task. It's not a big deal. You will get the money back. And I said, but what if I don't get the money back? She said to me, it's not a gamble. So you will definitely get your money back because it's part of your task. You need to finish it so you can move on to the next one. And I thought, you know what? I've done some work for some time with these guys. If I lose this
And
money.
they've paid before.
Exactly. If I lose this money, but anyway. Made that deposit. Red flag number one, the account number that I was given to make the deposit into. It was not a company account number. It was a personal account number.
Did you ask the receptionist?
I did. And she said to me, no, we work with a team of different people and there are so many freelancers. So it's best that we use these personal accounts. Strange. But I thought to myself, we are on task number 8. Just
2 more to go.
2 more to go. Just wrap it up and you are out of this. And what I also learned in that experience is that every time you say, after this, I'm out, is the deeper you go, and it's not even intentional on your part. But when you think, after this, I'm done, they'll find something to keep you there. And now you're just there unwillingly. I deposited the money. After depositing the money, I completed the task because then it led you to another link. Now I'm no longer rating and reviewing now. I'm in a totally different space. I don't know if it was music or if it was, I don't know what I was doing there, but I was doing something because I was being given instructions to click on this, submit this, do that, take a screenshot. And I've never played Monopoly.
Yeah.
So that thing just seemed like Monopoly. I don't know what it was. But did that, got the screenshot, sent the screenshot, and they said, wait, you are going to, you will receive your payment. Then it was that 200 that I deposited, plus 60 Rand, that was said to be the commission. To the 200.
Also, at this point, you had just deposited $200.
It's just $200 plus the 60 Rand of commission, plus the other 30 Rands that I had been collecting from the tasks completed, I thought to myself, okay, so you guys were not lying. But I was scared. I was scared because, first of all, I'm not used to making money like that.
It seemed too easy.
It seemed too easy and it seemed too much in a short space of time. The only time that I have seen money accumulate like that was when I saved money. I think it was over a period of 6 months. And that's when I saw the interest, and it didn't shock me, because I understood the lady at the bank had explained it to me clearly what my interest would look like and all of that stuff. But to get it immediately was something else. But I thought to myself, okay, it's a great opportunity. I'm probably overthinking things.
Okay.
4th day, I think, continued with the task. Now, when that task popped up of depositing money, it didn't shock me anymore. I was like, okay, no, it's part of the task. Except this time, the stakes are higher. The money has gone.
It's not 200 anymore.
It's not 200 anymore. They're saying 500. And I said, no. I actually want to deposit 200. And they said, no, that 200 was a trial amount.
First level.
I have no idea what I'm doing at that point, Buntando. Like, remember, I haven't told anyone. So I don't even know whether I'm doing the right thing or not. All I know is I have done some work and I just want to get paid for it. Deposited that. It wasn't 500. So with the 200, I had to choose between 500 and 200. So I chose 200 because it was lower. Now, this time, it started from 1,000. 1,000, I think it was 1,000, 4,000, and 6,000 or something like that. Then I deposited the 1,000, and then it led to another task. I'm no longer rating and reviewing. And that's something that kept surprising me.
These tasks are changing.
Now I'm not seeing the lodges that I used to see. I'm not seeing the restaurants. I'm just seeing some machine some casino-looking thing that I can't, put
What were
in.
you supposed to do with it? Review.
So what I was supposed to do there was, there was a button I was supposed to click. I think it was written pop. Click pop, insert numbers. And now that I think about it, it just seemed like you're just manipulating numbers, because you just put 30,000 and then you click on submit, and then you see that money, those numbers, you see them reflect as money in that particular account.
Okay.
And they used something called, I think they called it Deezer. But the Deezer that I know doesn't look like that.
The Deezer is music.
Yes. So now I was surprised that, why is this one red? Why is it, there's gold, there was a lot going on. But what I consoled myself with was the fact that I could see the money. I could see the balance. So I was like, oh, okay. No, it's making sense, That 1,000 did that Deezer business, came back. Now, things are starting to get a bit tricky. First of all, communication is being moved from the receptionist to someone else. I'm being given a link to say, no, speak to this person. They're the ones that are going to help you complete the task.
And you're still speaking to the person on
WhatsApp.
Telegram?
No, this is this is on Telegram. The one on WhatsApp is gone. And I didn't even realize that they were gone. I'm stuck with this one on Telegram. So this receptionist says to me, you are going to speak to this person, right? I speak to this person, but for some reason, this person that I've been given now is very impatient. Like, if I don't do the deposit on time, then I'm being told, no, it's fine. You can wait, and then you'll tell us when you are ready. But fast forward, after depositing that 1,000, I completed that task, sent the screenshot, and then it was 1,000. I think 1,000 plus 300 plus the other 30 rands that I had of the other tasks that I had done. So I thought, and that day, my heart was literally on my throat because I used the only money I had left in my bank account. Okay. So if I hadn't gotten it back, I don't know what would have happened. I think maybe it would have clicked then that this is a scam. But I got it back and I thought, whew.
They paid
it back.
Okay.
So this is the second time, but this is a bigger amount. So I'm like, whew, that was scary. It took us a little bit of time, but we're here. We are good, right? And for the rest of the day, I chose not to work because being tugile, my account was clean for something engana guarantee ngayo ukuthi is it gonna
people
come
you've
back
never
or not.
met.
Some scammers will call you. Those ones didn't even call. I don't even know what they sound like. At this point, I don't even know if they're human beings or not.
So you were scammed by AI when
I think it was AI. No, I really think that it was bots. But the next day, so it became my daily routine. Wake up in the morning, do what I do. After doing that, start with those tasks. I think it was on the 5th day where things started to shake up. So what happened was I did the tasks as usual. By the way, this whole time that I'm doing tasks, the references of the money that's coming into my account are different. Like every time it's someone else, and I'm just like, oh, Ghana, they said they use different people's
multiple accounts.
I'm not even thinking anything suspicious of it. Remember, I haven't told anyone, so I don't know if it's wrong or right.
So probably when you first observed the difference in account numbers and asked them, you were paying someone else who was in your
highly
shoes.
likely. And I think where they also got me was when I realized that the references were of the same bank. So that made me think, it's just different people, but it's the same bank. So surely they have an in-house system as a company to keep track of those funds.
Okay.
And clearly I was lying to myself. The 4th, 5th time, things started to get really bad. Completed the task, and I remember when I got to that one EMA deposit. By the way, it looks like a table thingy. I don't have pictures of it anymore. I'll try find them.
Try find them, then
Please.
I'll pop them up.
because I was so traumatized. I was like, I'm done. Deleted those screenshots, like a breakup. You delete all the pictures and the songs and evidence. Get rid of it. But it was a pink purple picture that had a table, and the table had the amounts, it had the levels, it had the commissions, and yeah, the first amount.
So you think that's what they're using to hook many people?
Yes.
And keep them on. Just
Yes.
show you a table of how much money you've made.
Yes. A table of how much money you made, a table of how much you will get if you deposit a certain amount of money. And like I said, I wasn't driven by the need to make profit. I was just excited to have a side hustle that was aligned to what I do already. But I know there's people that just want to make money. And so if you can deposit 200 and get it as 260 back, then people are likely to want to put in more. But at this point, it got really heavy because the task had required that I deposit something to the effect of 2,000 rand. And I thought, I gave you guys 1,000 before and you brought it back, so surely you will get this. Little did I know that was the beginning of misery and downfall, because what happened to me after the whole scam is something I never thought I would experience, not through the phone. Not through the phone, not
How
through
so?
technology. The whole experience left me not only miserable and hurt, but suicidal at a certain point. Because I plunged into emotions I had never tapped into, but beyond that, debt. The only debt I had ever known was school fees. And even then, it wasn't stressful. It was, I'll tell my mom.
Yeah, school fees is not stressful.
You understand, but
Well, it's stressful, but a little bit.
also it's not shameful. It's
Yeah.
a problem we all have. Whether you come from a good family or not, it's a problem that we all have. Life still goes on. But to plunge into debt as a result of me having borrowed money from people that I love and trust and consider as friends.
Oh, so you went and borrowed money from friends.
I went and borrowed money from friends, because from that 2 grand, the tasks that I was being helped to do by that other person now demanded more money. I think the other one was close to 7 grand, 6.950 is 7 grand, 7 grand. And then now they started doing this thing of, I have to pay money to get money.
Okay.
So, I borrowed that 7 grand from a friend, who is still my friend, by the way, thank God. Got that 7 grand. And even how I got the 7 grand, I wasn't completely transparent, because I myself didn't know what was happening. Just pick up the phone like, but no, do you have 7 grand? Yeah, sure. Are you able to send it to me quickly? Okay, are you okay? No, I'm fine. I just need 7 grand to do something quickly. Oh, okay, cool.
Were you promising when it will come back?
Initially, no. But I think when I went to the second, third, and fourth,
There were
I'd
more.
said, yes, it got that bad. I would always say today, because of how quickly I had seen them pay back the money. So I would say, please give me this amount of money, I'll pay it back today. And then when the sun set and I still hadn't gotten it, bengingali, because I was stressed. Because what do you say to someone? You ask for their money, you didn't tell them what you were going to use the money for, and now you can't pay it back, So
Did any of your friends say no?
as in, are there people that I asked that said no?
Can I have 10,000? And they say, I don't. Your story doesn't add up.
I had people, but they were not my friends. I had colleagues that I reached out to that said, no. And I think what was even more difficult was when someone would ask, what do you need the money for? That's when it would always get me. What do you want it for? I had people in my circle, friends and associates alike, saying things like, yo, if I had it, I'd give it to you. And as time went on, I was like, actually, they're just saying no in a very nice way. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did, because that in some way saved me from an even deeper and bigger problem that I could have been in. But I started asking for money from friends, and now I'm panicking. I'm panicking because these people are not giving me my money. The job is no longer part-time, and now we're not focusing on the job anymore. Now our focus is on the money. And that's something I didn't see. I actually didn't realize that
We've changed. We're not rating and reviewing
We're
anymore.
not rating and reviewing. Now we're fighting over money. Now I'm texting in the morning like, hey guys, yesterday we didn't finish our discussion, so can I please have the money? I remember at some point it had gotten to about 13 or 15,000, and they said, you are supposed to deposit this money, but you will get the money you are depositing back, as well as the money that is inside this Deezer account.
And how much was in the Deezer now?
Something to the effect of 60 plus.
60K.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd never seen that much money in my life.
And you are thinking, I'm going to have
And I
a
was
good month.
thinking, I going into this, I didn't plan to do anything with the money. I didn't plan to paint the town red or anything like that. But when I started seeing those figures in that Deezer account, I actually started thinking, okay, I'll get this money, I'll pay back the people that I owe, and I'll use some of it, some of it I'll give to my family, just so they can catch a break, because we just come from January, and that was a tough month. So I started making plans as time went along. But as time went by. But as soon as... So what broke the camel's back was when the second person I was referred me to a third person.
Okay.
To say, this one is going to help you... what's the opposite of deposit? Withdraw.
Okay.
This one is going to help you withdraw your funds. I'm like, great. Because we had finally gotten to a point where
we're withdrawing.
We are withdrawing now. And I thought, fantastic. When this person was helping me, this is the trick they used. They said trial amount, 1,000 Rand, 1,800 Rand.
Okay.
Step number 2, first amount, 1,800 Rand. Step number 3, 56,000 Rand. Step number 4, you can withdraw whatever else is left in the Deezer account. Tell me if the trial amount and the first amount don't sound like the same thing to you. Like, if they are watching this right now, people are going to catch you out for doing that. I thought trial amount is the first amount.
Okay.
And I guess that's the trick that they used. Then I withdrew the first amount, and it reflected that 1.8.
It came.
It came, right? Then after 1.8, I then withdrew 56. No, this 56 is not coming. I'm like, hey, bro, what's going on? I've got people to pay. So what's going on? And I went back to this person and I said, dude, how, Pella, the 56 is not
56 is
reflecting.
hanging.
And then she's like, did you withdraw the first amount? I'm like, yeah, I did. The 1.8 I did. And she's like, the second 1.8? I'm like, the second 1.8? What do you mean the second 1.8? She's like, there's the 1.8 trial amount, and then there's the first. I felt like the dumbest person alive. Because how did you miss that? I tried to read that text as many times as possible. I was like, is it me? Maybe I'm the one that's confused. Do I have problems reading? Or maybe do I have comprehension problems? Like, no, but you're more wrong. Because what's going on? And they kept saying, there's nothing we can do on our side. Whoa. And now I'm thinking, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean there's nothing you can do? You have the money. This whole time, I thought they had control over the Deezer The whole
The
Deezer
whole
thing.
Deezer account.
Kanti, they just made it up. Actually, that money is not even there. It's just a figure that just grows as and when you click whatever it is you need to click on. And I'm sitting there thinking, Aibo, 56, please, like, give me my money. They said, no, our policy doesn't. Now they're talking about policies.
That you were not given before.
Things I had no idea about. And that's the thing about scams, is that they are never clear from the onset. The rules are made as and when you go along. Because these people don't know you, they also don't care how you receive the information. They don't know that you are sitting on the other side shocked. They know you are sitting on the other side broke, that's for sure. But they don't know the kinds of emotions that you are going through. I did not eat for days. After that,
Were you alone?
I was.
So
I
no
was
one
alone.
got to see that things are going sideways for
No,
you.
I was alone. I called a friend of mine and I said, Ndwana,
Guraf.
kuphelile ngami. That's what I said. And he said, oh, what happened? And he laughed because, apparently I'm funny. So he's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, it's over for me. Like, I'm done. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to drive. I'll come there. You have to tell me what's going on. He drove, he came by. And before that, I had a friend of mine that I had told. And he had tried these forex trading, don.
Yeah.
And he was like, Slu, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
Just tell me what happened and be honest. Because the other thing is, I would speak to people, but I wasn't giving them the full story
truth.
out of the shame of, I also don't know what's happening. So if I give you bits and pieces, you will make sense of whatever it is. And for someone that's well-spoken, it doesn't make sense, When I told my friend, as soon as he said to me, open your Telegram.
Yeah.
I opened Telegram. He's like, open that person's picture. Let me see their wallpaper.
Yeah. You realized I never even checked this.
The profile picture was pixelated. So you can't even see clearly whether you can see it's a woman, but you can't really see the color of her eyes or anything like that. She's like, Slu, you've been scammed. I'm like, no, I've not been. No, you don't understand. I'm still talking to these people. Like,
They've paid me before.
They've paid me before. And if I send them a text now, they'll respond. So no, don't worry about that. And he left me because, remember, he had said he wouldn't judge me. So he left me. He's like, okay, do your thing, but just know I said what I said. And at the time, unfortunately, it was too late. Like, the money was gone. I had gone into debt. I keep going back to my friends, the ones that I borrowed money from, that I'll pay back the money. And I think at a certain point, and I have to take accountability for this one, at a certain point, I made up a story about some stock fell or something like that. I made up a story about a stock fell, but I need
You were in deep.
really deep. I made up a story about a stock fell that it was my turn to be paid, but before I could get paid, they needed to see all of like the amount that we were contributing so that I can, I'd heard that in a taxi somewhere. I don't even think it was a real thing. And I used it. But after that experience, I learned that it was deceitful of me. It was also wrong of me to do that. And at the root of it was just shame. You don't know.
Which is weird because you're not that person. It's not something you had been doing all your life.
No, not at all. And I took full accountability, apologized as much as I needed to, explained the story as much as I needed to, as many times as I needed to, because that's the other thing. You tend to think, I've told the story, so you should understand. No, it doesn't make sense that you called me asking for money and now you can't pay me back. What's that about? You said you were getting paid, So at that point, this person who was helping me withdraw the money is now telling me, no, you have to pay, I think she said 15% of what you owe. 15%, Ntando, is over 30 grand. I don't even have 30 rand in my account. I need to pay over 30 grand for me to get what is in the account and then get that 30 grand back. That was by far the most dangerous time of my life because I got desperate. I got scared. I remember at some point I said to a friend of mine, I'm going to go to the Taxi Rank Association offices and I'm going to try and broker a deal with the taxi drivers. And she said, okay, I know you're crazy, but this is next level.
That was next level.
I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk in there and tell them, listen, guys, I need money to be paid out. And for me to get that money, I need to pay money.
To the taxi association.
And my friend said, you just listen to what you just said now. Does it sound right? Like, does it make sense? And I said, well, I'll show them the telegram. I'll show them I'll show them the screenshots. She said, I don't know if you're feeling suicidal, but yeah, that's not it. But I did. I actually went to the CBD, went to places where they offer loans, and none of them offered the amount that I wanted. I think the last place that I went to said they offer up to 5,000 rand loans. I was like, you guys, you are not serious.
I'm looking for 30.
I'm looking for more than 30.
You were going loan sharks and taxi associations.
I didn't go. The taxi association was an idea, but I didn't go. I actually didn't go through with it.
God, you didn't.
I'm glad I didn't. But it was a scary point, because that taught me that when you are desperate, you don't think straight. And that shame has a very powerful way of making us believe that we are alone. Because at the time, the kind of support that I needed was not only financial, but also emotional. I had lost a part of myself. It wasn't just money that was on the line. It was friendships that were on the line. It was trust that was on the line. And just reflecting by myself, I even asked myself, what did you want the money for to begin with? Like, no isa guy, chelete. When they say money is the root of all evil, this is the evil.
The love of it.
This is the evil that they're talking about, because you had no plans to make that much money. But here you are, in debt, alone, ashamed. Then I remember the Sunday that it dawned on me that this whole thing was a scam, was when I said to the person that was helping me withdraw, and this is all via text, by the way. I said to them, listen, you borrow me money to release these funds. Once these funds are released,
I'll give you back.
Not only will I give you back your money, I will take the money that I need, because I've got people I need to pay, and you can keep the rest. Like, I don't want it. I need phone, and I wasn't lying. I don't want the money. I don't want extra. I just need the money to pay people back. You can keep everything. And that was going to be 2 or 3 times whatever it is that they would have borrowed me at the time. That's how bad it got. I just wanted to get out of it and have not just my friendships again, but my peace again. There was a time, Puntanda, I survived on Wild Island. Literally, because I couldn't eat. My taste buds were not functional at the time. I had no cravings. Anybody that knows me will tell you.
You were that depressed?
That bad. Anybody that knows me will tell you how much I love food. Like, if you want to have a conversation with me, we can have it over coffee. We can have it over, But at that time, I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping well. Even showing up for work became difficult. And I do a breakfast show. So my job...
Every day.
My job is to make people happy, is to put smiles on people's faces, is to give people hope that, hey guys, it's going to be a good day. And for some reason, those 3 hours were a very difficult time.
How long was this period for?
So
This dark space that you found yourself in.
Oh, the whole of March, going into April.
Over a month, you were feeling this way.
Yeah.
My word.
Yeah. So by the end of February, it happened in the last week of February. By the end of that week of February, like, everything was done. I was scammed, but I didn't know it. Now in the second week, that's when I'm starting to figure out that, hey, actually, this is a scam. I remember I called I called South African Depression and Anxiety Group because I just felt like
At least you did something. I was about to ask, did you call someone for help?
I called the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, and I said to that lady, I don't have a medicine cabinet. If I did, I would take any and everything that is in there. The only thing I have is a knife, and I can stab myself to death. So I need you to help me to end this. I'm not calling for you to counsel me and tell me it's going to be okay. No. It's not going to be okay because I'm in debt. I owe people and I don't know how I'm going to explain. So it's not going to be okay. Right now, I need this to end. And I need you to help me.
Those words
I did.
on the call.
I did.
Yo.
And that lady kept saying to me, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I said, it's not going to be okay. Please stop saying that because I am in hell. Sat down, cried for a good 3 hours until the cold of the tile got to my bones. I stood up, slept. Next morning, I couldn't come to work. I immediately had to let management know that, listen, guys, I can't come. I just said I'm not feeling well. And they understood. The next morning, I woke up and I decided, you know what? This thing, I'm not going to come out of it. So let's find ways to end this pain. You know, let's be innovative. Because now, if I commit suicide, I must write notes explaining what happened, and that is going to leave people with a lot of unanswered questions.
You really thought about it?
I really did.
That far?
That far. It's going to leave people with
You know what's scaring me now? I would see you then, and I could not tell.
Yeah. How I showed up for work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's freaking me out.
Yeah. It's true when they say check up on your strongest friends, because I was that strongest friend that needed checking up at the time.
But don't you think it contributes that you are that strong friend that's good at being strong even when you're going through stuff?
And also, I'm not just a strong friend that's good at, being strong when I'm going through stuff. I'm very clear. Like, if I'm not okay, I will say that I'm not okay. If I'm not feeling well, I will say that I'm not feeling well. But at the time, because I was so ashamed, I was scared to ask for help. Because I know when you ask for help, the first question people will ask is, what's wrong? What happened? Now I have to go through the emotions that I went through, explaining what happened. So I felt that way. Luckily, I don't indulge in liquor or any other drugs, besides medicine, and that's only if it's really, really necessary. So I'm glad at that time I was happy with that decision, because who knows what would have happened. Maybe I would have wanted to, drink until I lose my mind. So I didn't take that direction. But I started calling SADC very regularly. Like, I would call them in the morning as I'm getting ready for work. Like, hey, I'm in trouble. Can
you give a tip to someone listening who needs to call them? Who they were, how did you find them, who they should, and what they can expect?
So, luckily, I am a very active young citizen. And
Okay.
so I do work around community development. And so mental health conversations are something that I hold on to dearly. And I've had the honor of facilitating some of them, especially with young people. So SADC, I just don't remember what their number is from the top of my head, but it's a toll-free number. So you can call them even if you don't have airtime. And the first thing that you will hear is a real person. And that's something that I think we don't appreciate enough, that you're not talking to some robot. You are talking to an actual person with a real name who wants to listen to you. And they will ask you what happened. And even if you're not able to explain it at that time, they will tell you, I'm here. And that helps a lot. Because sometimes, all you need is someone to say, I'm here. And I got that. And Abati, because you called yesterday,
Why are you calling
Why are you
again?
calling again today? No, they're actually there to carry you throughout that process. Because some days I would call and the counselor, I guess, on the line would ask, "How are you feeling today?" Like, actually, I'm feeling a little better. I was able to eat this morning, stuff like that. So it is very helpful. It's very helpful.
Wow, that's a beautiful resource. I think if they've got a website, right?
Yes, they do.
So
They
we'll
do.
put a link to it. Please do remind me.
Absolutely. I will do that. But yeah,
So you called these guys, carried you through that spell. I'm curious, what lessons have you learned that can help someone who's going through it right now?
I thought you'd never ask. First of all, it's not just my family that carried me through this, my friends. My friends, when they say you will find your people,
Yeah.
I found my people. And I don't like testing people's characters. Got a tough time, when someone is upset and I'm like, yeah, those are your true colors. I don't because it feels like you're trying to catch people out.
Yeah.
But even the very same people that I owed somehow held space for me. I remember when I told one of them that, hey, actually, I'm sorry because I lied to you to get that money. I didn't know what I was doing. This whole thing was a scam. She said to me, do what you need to do and pay me my money back. And that's all I needed at the time. Grace and some breathing room, because I myself couldn't forgive myself for what I had done. All of the positive talk that I had given myself
You are
over the years.
quite the motivational speaker in the morning. You could have done one of those. Listen to one of your past episodes.
And those were some of the things that I started to do to bring myself back to life. I went through my pictures. I went through my videos because I go live when I do the show. I went through my videos. I went through some of the feedback. And that was one thing that carried me, the support that I got from my friends. I'll never forget a friend of mine, his name is Wanda. Wanda would drive from work every day to come and make sure that I've eaten. Literally, and sit with me for an hour to talk about nothing.
Kudos to him. That's impressive.
Just to make sure that I am sane. And I would have other friends call me, text me, the ones that knew the full story. They would ask, do you need anything? Do you have toiletry? Do you have period products? Because there's that as well. So support from friends, and most importantly, owning my part in it. And I know someone might think...
And apologizing.
Yeah. Someone might think, yeah, but now we are victim blaming. I mean, you are the one that got scammed. But we cannot shy away from the fact that I didn't say anything to anyone. I participated, whether I was a willing participant or unwilling. Oksalayo, when they said deposit, I deposited, And I had to accept my part in it. And it was painful. It was painful because I kept saying to myself, but you should have seen it here. You should have seen it there. The thing about being scammed is that's exactly what it's meant to do. You are not supposed to see the signs. And even if you do, you are not supposed to question them further than surface level. So it taught me that. It also taught me that it's important to speak up. Hey, Batung, no one is going to steal your side hustle. Just say something to someone.
There's this side hustle.
There is this side hustle that I got, and yeah, it looks promising. Tell someone, because we need soundboards as people. This thing of, I don't want them to know how I make my money. Okay, you're going to find out. You're going to find out when you start throwing money into a bottomless pit where someone said, invest this much money and you'll get this much money. And most importantly, I learned that I am resilient. I survived. Mid-April, I was so different. Mid-April. I felt alive again. Even how I did my show felt different because I felt stronger. I felt wiser because I was now on track to forgiving myself. I had explained to the people I owed, this is what happened, and that lifted all of the emotional burden that I had carried. But slowly but surely, I came back to life, and I got it. I got the fact that it was a character building phase. Hey, but it was painful. I remember I was praying this one time and I said, hi God, lehebari lessons. Not like this. Not like this. This lesson is too painful. Kanti mina anglaleli ukufika lapho. Hayi bo. You know, it really felt like too much of a punishment. I was like, oh God, maybe they should have scammed me with $1,000. I would have survived. That plus
that
debt?
much.
Come on. So it taught me that I'm resilient. I don't think there's anything that can faze me now in life.
Is it?
I don't think there's anything that can break me to the point of wanting to end my own life. Because I have seen that I can fall 7 times and rise up 8 times.
That's beautiful. Is that advice you have for someone who's thinking about ending their life? Because Bati Pelilengam, it's over.
Absolutely. Even if you don't stay alive for the people that you love and the people you know love you, just know that there's always someone out there that's watching you, that's rooting for you. There's someone out there who does what they do because they see you. So you ending your story is you ending several other stories. I had to think of, I have a little sister. My little sister idolizes me. The other day I was listening to a recording she did on my mom's phone. She said she was on radio, according to her. She said, "Zontjala ngeweather." And I thought, okay. If I'd ended my life, that little girl would not have a reference of what it means to show up in your purpose, what it means to pursue the things you love. Because fortunately for me, I get to do what I'm good at and I get to do what I love. And that is aligned. So after I saw her, I cried. I cried because she was so happy to see me. She hadn't seen me in a while because I also distanced myself from family, from, every time my mom would ask me, when are you coming to see us? I'm coming. I'm swamped right now. Just, work and school is a lot. Hey, check up on those people. Sometimes it's not work and school. There's stuff happening there.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. And she would get it. But she noticed that something was up because the calls became shorter. When your people go into lengthy conversations and suddenly Untando is just like, uthini? Okay, ngizokufowunela, sharp.
Bye.
And they start doing that frequently. Something is up. Something is happening there that they're not talking about. And it's not something they're going to tell you over the phone, unfortunately. So I am so grateful.
That's a great insight, actually, to say don't try and find out over the phone.
No, don't, because it doesn't work. And the thing is, these devices have done also a very good job of allowing us to push people away. If you call me and I don't answer, there's nothing you can do. I didn't answer, But when you are here and you see me in the flesh and you ask me what's wrong and I look away and my eyes are darting all over the place, a hand, a hug, a word, something will break those walls and I will feel safe enough to speak. Because the reason why I was so ashamed was because I thought I didn't have safe spaces. I thought if I told people, they would judge me. Of all people, never. You should have seen this. You would have spoken about this. And I hated my character when I was going through that dark phase because I thought to myself, not you, Slu. Not you, and I worried about the perception that people have of me. Little did I know that I'm actually surrounded by people who care about me and who understand that there are dark times in life. Like it gets really, really bad and it's okay. It really is okay. Also, when your friends that don't usually ask for money start asking for money.
And asking for a lot.
There's something there.
What did you learn about fixing the relationships with friends?
I learned
because that must not have been easy.
No, it wasn't at all. It wasn't. I was actually having a conversation with another one of them recently, and I said I carried what you said to me for a very long time, because unfortunately with her, it put her into debt as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. It put her into debt. She had a very big commitment. She had a big goal that she wanted to achieve by the end of the year. And she had done so much to get her ducks in a row financially. And I came, she loves me, she cares about me. So I didn't even have to explain what the money was for, only for the money not to come back. And we're just having that heart to heart. And she said, you know what? I'm glad that you held space for me the way you did, because you didn't try to justify what you did. You let me be angry. And that's something that we need to take into consideration where accountability is concerned. Just because you apologized, it does not fix the relationship. It does not undo
What you just did.
the damage that you've done. You apologizing is acknowledging that there is something wrong with the action that you have taken. And after an apology, it's a commitment. Again, please, don't just apologize, I'm sorry, and that's it. No, I'm sorry. You can even go
This is what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm going to do. Please tell me if this will work for you, because you are taking accountability. And that process, Ntando, that process is uncomfortable. To sit
I can
because
imagine.
you are basically putting your head on the block. You are saying, do with me what you will. You know? It's uncomfortable, but you have to be willing to take it all the way. Understand that there's also emotions involved. So we've been friends
I
for
like
years.
something that you said,
Yeah.
that your friend said, that you allowed her to be angry.
Absolutely. The thing is, when we apologize, even though we were victimized in the situation, we want the other person not to be as angry at us, you know, because you're thinking, oh, but I got scammed. At least I owe you. Nah, I got scammed. Nah. It's not about you. In the moment of accountability and apologizing, it's not about you. The other person is upset with what you did because of who you are, but also because of who you are to them.
To them.
And remember the fact that they also have to deal with the fact that they allowed themselves to believe you and help you. Because she kept saying to me, my intuition told me something was off. Do you know how heavy it is to carry that? That someone knew something was up and they went against it for you because they trust you, because they love you. I don't take that for granted. So I had to learn that about accountability. And also, this one was very hard. The updating. Oh my God.
So your friends got to be accountability partners.
Absolutely. Now you had to be clear. Okay, listen, I didn't make X amount of money like I thought this month. This is how much I have. This is how much I can give you. This is, And for me, as someone who hardly borrows money, it was so uncomfortable because even when Dando texts me to say, hey, Slu, how are you? I'm already thinking, oh, it's the money. Okay, let me just tell him now. Dude, I don't have the money. And some of them told me, we're just checking up on you. It's not, And
So they say, Slu, how are you? And you start apologizing.
Yes,
you see, no.
Listen, I don't have it right now. I will send it as soon as I do. And they said, whoa, relax. There's you beyond the money. But accountability is very important.
Okay. Have you heard of other scams since then?
Gwangati, after that whole thing, nyawa attract because they just started, coming to the surface, left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And like I told you earlier, after I told my friends, when they would get those, hi, please
now
rate
they
and review,
screenshot and say, your people.
There was this other one that was added to a group.
Yeah.
One
of your friends.
One of my friends. And he said, your people added me to a group. Come talk to your people. But jokes
All right,
aside,
let's warn some people.
Yeah,
What are some of the examples of scams that you've come across?
The rating and reviewing. There's also been job scams. So what would happen is these people would use reputable companies. Then they will put them on places like Marketplace on Facebook. They'll even use platforms such as TikTok, big platforms, and to make it seem legit.
Okay.
And they lure you by telling you about, you see, the thing about scams is it always has to do with money. Auna scams is involving chelete. No. It always has to do with money. It either has to do with them taking money from you or them giving you money. But there's monetary exchange
Even
that's
when
going
it
to
starts
happen.
with love,
Yeah. Ooh.
boyfriend, sweetheart, girlfriend, it
I'm
ends
trying
up.
to get a coffee date. um, even if it starts with love, but it always has to do with money. Because with the job ones that I have seen, there was actually another one a couple of weeks ago where a job post was advertised on Marketplace on Facebook, and unemployment is very high.
Yeah.
In our country, and so any opportunity, really, you grab it with both hands. The two brothers applied, because the company was taking quite a number of people at the time. They got a call to say, please come for an interview at such and such a place, and please bring this amount of money because there are so many people that want this job, so you have to cold drink. And the brothers went there. When they arrived, it was an open field, no officers, nothing. It's far from everything else, and they were murdered. They were robbed and murdered.
Whoa.
So you do have such things where it doesn't end as a debt or as friendships on a shaky ground. People could actually lose their lives because of this. It's been that. It's been with rating and reviewing. They play around with it a lot. They'll either say, rate and review, record a video, do this, do that. It's even worse when they've used videos of influential people, your social media influencers, they've tried with media personalities, but they always get caught out because then fans take screenshots and put on social media to say, how, Ndando, why are you asking us for money, know? But those are some of the scams that have been used. Others will say things like, we want to send you products that you can try out, and then you make a video reviewing the products, and then we will pay you. That means I have to give you my address.
Oh.
There's a safety issue there, So
That's a good warning. That's a good warning. Interesting.
So it's those things, but a very important warning, because I know as we are having this conversation, there's someone who is being scammed and they don't know it and they're in denial. That's what you experience, because I was there. When they said, 7K, 10K, I thought to myself, surely this will come back. You know what I mean? That's you being in denial. You already know that if you have a job, you should not have to pay for that job. You are doing the job so you can get paid and not the other way around. And so if you are doing a job and you are being told to deposit this amount of money, it's a scam. I won't even say it probably is. No, it is a scam.
As long as it's a job.
Yeah.
I thought of something while you were talking about the hard one. And I don't know if you have an answer for this one, but someone who falls in love online and is in denial and keeps sending money.
Hey, yeah.
The stories are creative to get to the point of sending money. Sometimes I've heard, so you start off, you're dating and the person is taking you to some fancy places. Kanti, there's 5 of you all online, and one of you is financing because you're at different stages.
Sure.
Is financing the other dates, and then by the time I come and say business is bad now, you think, yeah, legit, this is true. And so Popama 710.
Yo. Hey, Mara, legenda bafethu. Legenda this gender.
It goes both ways.
No, it does. It does go both ways. It's a bit hard for me to comment on that one because I haven't experienced it, but I have watched documentaries and I've read articles about it. That one becomes a little harder because of the emotion that is involved, and it's a bit more
the
intimate.
strongest.
Yeah, it is the strongest, in fact, because of the intimacy. these phones, man, they
Because
have.
they find someone who has never been told, I love you, I miss you, you're great, how are
And
you?
they
And then they do
yeah,
that every day.
they
And
capitalize
it's been
on.
10 years since you were hearing these words.
I will.
It's real out there.
Not 10 years. But yeah, that is also another scam that has been doing the rounds. But with those ones, I've seen that people are in denial purely because of, like I said, the many emotions that are involved. But usually they will say, they will speak up. Where's my relationship? Because you want advice, you want to know how you can make things better. Your friends will tell you, your family will tell you, right, this person. And then guba uwe, that's in denial because you want to defend them and you want to protect them. So that
Yeah.
one gets a little tricky.
It's the hardest. I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no,
Even
that,
I don't have an answer to
yeah,
that
no,
one.
that one is very difficult.
What about forex scams or investment scams where people say, hey, stock fell or 30% interest every
Hey,
month or
remember the
triple
WhatsApp
M?
stuff? Hey, guys. But if the amount of money that is said to return is just too good to be true, it probably is. Because the other thing is we go against our gut. Even if it's money, I know they say numbers don't lie, but sometimes even your gut will tell you, right, man, something is not okay here, you know? And we go against it because we think to ourselves, no, it's money. You have to use logic. Sometimes that's just God talking to you and just saying, can you stop? And you're like, no, but I can take it further. So if the amount or the profit to be made seems too good to be true, it probably is. Because how can you invest 1,000 and then get 1 million? No, but make it make sense. You know what I mean? How can you invest 1,000 and then get 100,000? How? You know, let's not allow our desperation to push us to make those kinds of decisions. I know it's hard. Like I said, unemployment is a real thing. But please do not fall trap into those things. And sometimes they will use small amounts of money like they did with me. They said 200 Rand. And you're thinking, but it's not that much money. Plus, I have done some work for them before. The money that they paid me is not the same amount of money that I owe people now, you know? So let's just not let our desperation get the best of us.
Cool. I came across one. I remembered one that I came across, which was harder as well. It's easier for them to get you on. So a friend of mine got sent an email which says, "Bra, I've hacked your computer. I've got all your details. I could continue and hack your bank account. All you have to do is pay, I think it was $200 or something, or $100,
Okay.
something like that." And the email had a couple of details, like this is the email you use, this is the other email you use, this is your number.
Also, they had files.
Not a lot, but just a few,
Okay, okay.
like alternative emails that he uses. And it was so scary. He took the computer and went and had it scraped, his computer wiped entirely.
Oh my God.
But he didn't pay the person.
Okay.
And then it could be the same group. They came to me, sent me an email. But the way they made a mistake was they had alternative emails that I used and my
Which
number.
were real.
They were real.
Okay.
They were real. And my numbers and stuff. But where they made a mistake was you paid the $200, or we expose the porn that you've been watching in your computer. And I say,
You
you
got
made
it
a
wrong.
mistake there.
Yeah.
You see, you had me all along.
Yeah.
It's when they mentioned that part.
Yeah.
And then I imagined if these guys are scraping emails of people and sending to 1 million in a day, there's going to be 100,000 that fall for it.
Absolutely. I think with me also where they got me was when they said part-time. Because as soon as they said part-time and they used that digital company in Rosebank, which we actually eventually contacted when we're now doing, our own research and investigation because the matter was handed to the police, but nothing much came out of there. It was reported to the bank as well. The bank did some investigations and they actually found that they were using what is called an in-house system. So basically, they just transfer money within the same account, and that apparently makes it hard for that particular bank to trace that money. And the lady at the bank said to me, if they had asked you to deposit into an external bank, by the time you tried to make your second deposit, we would have called you to say we can see that you are, you know. But it made me wonder, why can't you see if they are doing everything in the same bank? A question that they didn't give me an answer to. But what I found interesting was the fact that actually the bank account that I deposited money into the first time was opened on that same day,
What?
the very same day.
So these guys are working every day.
They're working very hard. It's very calculated, it's sophisticated, and for anyone that is now coming to terms with the fact that they have been scammed, I think it's important to give a little kindness to yourself, because you didn't know. It's really sophisticated how they choose to do their things, the language that they use. It's even worse when you are the kind of person that has kept it to themselves, because then you don't even know who to ask. So it does become a little dangerous. But these people are hard at work. It gets sophisticated every time.
Yeah. they're at work now.
You see, as they are watching this, they are like, she's ousting us. Let's find another one.
Close us off with some words of encouragement to someone who's feeling the shame.
There is help. There is help. It might not be financial. It might not be the help you think you need at that point in time, but there is help. The second thing is, you are not alone. When I was going through the whole experience, I thought to myself, I'm the only person in the world that is going through this. You are not alone. There's so many. This thing happens to the best, the smartest, most articulate, most vibrant, most motivational people. So it's not the end of your story. It's okay that you feel like you are down and out. It's meant to grow you in that way. I know it's painful and I know it sounds cliched, but it will pass. Whatever it is, it will pass. And God loves you.
Wow. Thank you.